complimented his female colleagues' outfits and noticed when they changed their hairstyles. When they needed help carrying files, he was quick to assist. He was always available for their problems, and always an understanding friend. Joy, on the other hand, had to beg for his attention. When she fell sick, he barely noticed. She once had a terrible fever and could barely get out of bed. She had texted him at work, "Daniel, I feel really sick. Can you bring home some medication?" Hours passed. He didn't reply. By evening, she forced herself to cook dinner, trembling as she stood by the gas cooker. When Daniel walked in and saw her struggling, he simply asked, "What did you cook?" No concern, no questions about her health, just an expectation that food would be ready. When she was silent, he didn't ask why. When she cried, he called her dramatic. One Saturday, Joy decided to surprise Daniel. She spent the entire day cooking his favorite meal, jollof rice, fried plantain, and grilled chicken. She set the table beautifully, lit a candle, and even dressed up. When Daniel walked in, he barely looked at her. "Ah, finally, food is ready," he said, sitting down without even noticing the effort she had put in. Joy waited for him to say something, anything. Maybe a simple, "Thank you, babe." Maybe a compliment about how she looked. Nothing. Midway through the meal, his phone rang. He looked at the screen and smiled. "Ah, Ngozi, how are you? Long time. You know I always have time for you," he said, standing up and leaving the table to take the call. Joy watched him, her heart sinking. He had time for everyone, but never for her. One evening, Joy was scrolling through her phone when she came across a post on Facebook. It read, "If you are good to others, it means nothing if you hurt the one who is on your side. Be a gentleman when it counts, at home, with the person you love." Her heart sank. It was Daniel's post. He had written it just a few days ago, gathering likes and comments from people praising his wisdom. "Wow, Daniel, you always know what to say," one woman commented. "This is so deep. May God bless you with more wisdom," another wrote. Joy wanted to laugh. She wanted to cry. But most of all, she wanted to know, did Daniel even hear his own words? That night, she confronted him. "Daniel, why do you treat me like I don't matter?" she asked, her voice steady but tired. Daniel looked up from his phone, surprised. "What are you talking about?" "You're kind to strangers, sweet to other women, respectful to your friends. But with me, I only get the worst of you." Daniel frowned. "Joy, you're my wife. You know I love you." "Love is not just words, Daniel. It's how you treat me when no one is watching." Her words hit him like a slap. He opened his mouth to defend himself, but for the first time, he had nothing to say.
That night, Daniel couldn't sleep. Joy's words kept ringing in his head. Was he really the man he pretended to be online? Had he become a stranger to the woman who stood by him every day? At work, he began to notice small things. When his female colleagues spoke about their husbands, he saw how they blushed when talking about a thoughtful gesture, a surprise breakfast, a random hug, a kind word. One day, his colleague Peace said, "My husband brought me flowers yesterday." No reason. He just said he wanted to make me smile. Daniel felt a strange discomfort in his chest. When was the last time he did something just to make Joy smile? That evening, he came home earlier than usual. Joy was in the kitchen, silently stirring a pot of soup. He walked up behind her and placed a hand on her shoulder. She flinched slightly, surprised. "I brought dinner," he said, placing a neatly packed takeout on the counter. Joy looked at him, confused. "I just thought you might be tired today," he added awkwardly. She didn't say anything at first, just stared at him, searching for sincerity in his eyes. Slowly, she nodded. "Thank you." It was a small step, but it was a start. Daniel began to change, not just in big, obvious ways, but in the little things. He listened when Joy spoke. He thanked her for the little things she did. He complimented her not just on her looks, but on her strength and kindness. He held her hand when they walked, not just
Welcome back.
Daniel was the perfect gentleman. At least, that's what the world saw. A dashing banker in Lagos, he was known for his smooth charm, impeccable manners, and warm smile. At the office, he was the kind of man who pulled out chairs for female colleagues, greeted security guards by name, and offered a listening ear to friends in distress. But at home, with his wife Joy, he was a different man. Kindly watch, like and subscribe. Joy had once been the envy of many women. When she married Daniel 5 years ago, people praised her luck. "That man is a king," her friends would say. "He will treat you like a queen." At first, it seemed true. He showered her with sweet words and grand gestures. He bought her gifts on her birthday, sent her romantic text messages in the early months of their marriage, and held her close when they walked through the streets of Lagos. But slowly, the mask slipped. At home, Daniel was cold, dismissive, and impatient. If Joy made a mistake in the kitchen, he would scowl and mutter, "How hard is it to cook rice properly?" When she tried to share her worries about their finances, he would wave her off, saying, "You worry too much. Just take care of the house." Yet, outside, he was a different man. At work, he complimented his female colleagues' outfits and noticed when they changed their hairstyles. When they needed help carrying files, he was quick to assist. He was always available for their problems, and always an understanding friend. Joy, on the other hand, had to beg for his attention. When she fell sick, he barely noticed. She once had a terrible fever and could barely get out of bed. She had texted him at work, "Daniel, I feel really sick. Can you bring home some medication?" Hours passed. He didn't reply. By evening, she forced herself to cook dinner, trembling as she stood by the gas cooker. When Daniel walked in and saw her struggling, he simply asked, "What did you cook?" No concern, no questions about her health, just an expectation that food would be ready. When she was silent,